Around 2 years ago, I played for a basketball club here in Frankfurt. Our aim was to qualify for one of the German national youth leagues. This meant training for hours on end every week, getting back home when it was pitch dark in the freezing winter evenings, and then having to muster up the energy the next morning on a weekend to go back at it again. Time and trainings passed, and eventually we reached the final stage of qualifying in Berlin. A win in this game would mean a spot in the league, but losing would mean elimination. The game started and I was on the bench. Naturally, I was excited, but also very nervous. My palms were sweating and my legs were shaking with anticipation. As the clock ticked and ticked and the final buzzer rang, something was wrong. I was still on the bench. I never got a chance to play in that game, and our team ended up losing by 2 points. A famous football manager once said, "Sport is the most important of the least important things in life." What? How can something be the most important and the least important at the same time? It's paradoxical. My name is William Wang, and I'm a student here at FIS in 11th grade. I've played basketball for as long as I can remember, and it truly plays a significant part in my life and in my identity. Now, to what extent you agree with this quote probably has something to do with your own experiences with sports. Because, at face value, sports can just be something as simple as putting a ball in a basket. So then why do millions of athletes around the world, like me, work so hard and invest so much time into their sports? After that game in Berlin, I asked my coach why I didn't play. And he said something to me that still motivates me until this day. He said that I wasn't ready. At that moment in time, it felt like I had failed. All the work I had done leading up to that led to nothing. But thinking back on that, I can see how that experience pushed me to grow, not only as a player, but as a person. Because sports aren't just about winners and trophies. It's where athletes like me learn how to dream, how to fail, and how to get back up even stronger. And that leads me to my core message of my talk here today, that sports don't just stay on the court or on the field, but rather they extend outwards. They become a rehearsal for life. Now, if sports are a rehearsal for life, wouldn't that mean the people that we can learn the most from would be the elite athletes in sports? Raise your hand if you recognize this person. Sure, I'm sure many of you do. His name is LeBron James, and he's a 4-time NBA MVP, champion, and all-time leading scorer. If you don't know what any of that means, basically, it means that he's pretty good at basketball, and he's been pretty good at it for a pretty long time. Now, how does LeBron perform at such a high level for over 20 years? This is the pyramid of performance, constructed by performance psychologist Jim Lohr and journalist Tony Schwartz. It suggests that there are 4 major factors, 4 capacities that determine your ability to perform at any given time. You can think of these as 4 muscles. At the bottom sits your physical capacity. This includes things like your sleep and your nutrition, and how that affects how much energy your body can exert. You can think of this as your arms and your legs, the big muscles in your body that move you around, give you the energy for you to complete your daily tasks. For LeBron, he spends millions of dollars per year on his body to prepare himself for the heavy workload of the NBA season. Next is your emotional capacity. This is your ability to control your emotions and control your stress. Even after decades of experience, LeBron still admits to being nervous before big games, and he uses breathing exercises to help him stay grounded. Next is your mental level. This is your ability to solve problems and to think clearly, like your brain muscle. To compete at such a high level like the NBA, LeBron constantly watches game film and adapts new ways of approaching the game and staying sharp. At the very top is your spiritual level. Why you're doing the thing that you're doing, why it matters, and how much you think it matters to you. These are like the core muscles in your body. It stabilizes you, and by fueling the other muscles through purpose, they can work even stronger. LeBron says that he plays basketball to uplift his community and to inspire the next generation, and is in his mission of becoming more than an athlete. Now, you might be thinking, okay, great for LeBron, but I'm not an athlete, so how does this relate to me? And that is exactly the point of the study. This study was published in the Harvard Business Review, and they wanted to explore how these 4 performance factors affected corporate executives at their workplace. And they found that these 4 factors affected these executives just as much as they did the athletes. See, when you wake up and go to school or go to work, you're actually putting on a performance. Right now, this talk is a performance. And if I'm unmotivated or I'm stressed, that would affect my ability to give the performance. If I'm tired as well, that would also affect my performance. Each level on the pyramid is connected, and a change in one could lead to a change in another, and a decrease or increase in your performance. Your success on that given day depends on your ability to manage these 4 levels and to train these 4 muscles. So what does training a muscle look like? I want us to try a little breathing exercise called box breathing. This involves breathing in deeply through your nose for 4 seconds, holding for 4, and then breathing out through your mouth for 4 seconds, and holding for another 4. Ready? Try it with me. Inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. Perfect. Now, I want us to try it again, but this time, really focus on your breath and how as you breathe in, your chest or your stomach rises, and how as you breathe out, it sinks back in. Notice how that makes you feel, how it changes your emotions, maybe your focus. And I invite you to close your eyes as we do it again for a second time. Ready? Inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. That little exercise is what the study calls a ritual, basically a repeated habit that accumulates to help strengthen one or many muscles. This can help throughout the day if you're tired from a day's work, or today if you're tired from digesting information. These little things are what can help you to strengthen your muscles and to strengthen your overall performance. So, how do I use this? Bringing it back to the story of my coach, when he said that I wasn't ready, it forced me to improve and to build on my pyramid of performance. So next time, when you face a challenge or an obstacle, I want you to ask yourself, in which area, physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, in which area or areas do I have to improve so I can overcome this challenge? How can I use what I've learned and what I know to incorporate habits into my life to strengthen my muscles? And remember, you may never play in the NBA, but you can still play your game of life like an athlete with focus, resilience, and purpose. Thank you.